for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, like, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well, is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money, that's how you're marketable, that's what the fans get excited about, that's what the fans want to show up for. So, you know, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides. And, you know, we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. And, you know, obviously I want to help in any way I can, and I tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't speak to every single.
The excitement among WNBA fans right now is undeniable, and for good reason. Caitlin Clark is officially back on the basketball court, and all signs point to her being fully healthy. She's participating in full 5-on-5 action as Team USA opens its training camp in Durham, North Carolina. After months of uncertainty, speculation, and silence, fans finally get what they've been craving: real basketball, real competition, and a glimpse of what's next. This training camp isn't just another off-season workout. It's a gathering of the very best players in women's basketball, assembled with one clear objective: preparation for the 2026 FIBA World Cup. The roster reads like a roll call of elite talent: Aaliyah Boston, Paige Buchers, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Brittany Griner, Chelsea Gray, and of course, Caitlin Clark. These are players who define the present and future of the game. But beneath the excitement lies an uncomfortable reality. There's an enormous elephant in the room that no amount of drills or scrimmages can ignore. If the WNBA and the Players Association fail to reach a new CBA agreement by January 9th, the league could face a work stoppage. And that's not speculation, that's the actual timeline. If negotiations collapse, there may not even be a 2026 season for these players to return to. That's what makes this moment so surreal. You have the best players in the world training together, sharpening their skills, building chemistry, all while the future of their league hangs in the balance. The contrast is striking. On the court, everything looks strong, vibrant, and promising. Off the court, uncertainty looms over every conversation. This camp represents more than basketball preparation. It's happening at one of the most pivotal moments in WNBA history. What players say during this time, the tone they strike, and the messages they send publicly may matter just as much as their performance on the hardwood. Optics matter. Leadership matters. Unity matters. The league has never had this many stars in one place at such a critical juncture. This isn't just a showcase of talent. It's a test of whether the WNBA can align ambition with sustainability. Fans see the potential. Sponsors see it. Investors see it. The question is whether the league and players can see past short-term conflict to protect long-term growth. Training camp should be about optimism. But right now, it's also about urgency. The clock is ticking, and no amount of talent can stop time from running out.
WNBA fans are so excited because Caitlin Clark is finally back on the court playing basketball, and it seems like she is 100%. She is going 5v5. Team USA is currently holding their training camp. So all the ladies will be in Durham this weekend training. As you can see the roster here: Lauren Betts, Aaliyah Boston, Cam Brink, Paige Beckers, Veronica Burton, Sonia Citron, Caitlin Clark, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Dearica Hamby, Kiki Ariafen, Rakia Jackson, Brianna Jones, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins.
This is where the conversation becomes uncomfortable, but necessary. Caitlin Clark openly acknowledges what many people would rather avoid. Compromise is unavoidable. That word makes people uneasy, especially during labor negotiations. It can sound like surrender or settling, but in reality, it's often the difference between survival and collapse. The players' demands are reasonable. Charter flights for all teams should be standard. A higher revenue share reflects the value players are generating. Salaries that allow players to live comfortably without spending winters overseas aren't luxuries. They're long overdue corrections. The players deserve these improvements, and that point shouldn't be debated. The real question is timing. Can enough progress be made now to avoid a work stoppage that risks destroying everything the league has built? That's the calculation facing both sides. And time is not on their side. Kelsey Plum's comments from the same training camp paint a concerning picture. She described the negotiations as disheartening and admitted that the two sides are still far apart. That's December 2024, with a January 9th deadline rapidly approaching. Bridging major financial and structural gaps in a matter of weeks is a massive challenge. What makes the situation especially fragile is that the WNBA doesn't have the safety net that leagues like the NBA enjoy. The NBA can endure lockouts because its foundation is decades deep. Its fan base is entrenched. Its revenue streams are massive and resilient. The WNBA, by contrast, is still building that foundation. You don't stop construction halfway through and expect the structure to survive. You don't pause growth when momentum is finally on your side. A work stoppage now wouldn't just delay progress. It could erase trust with new fans who haven't yet formed long-term loyalty. Clark's willingness to say this out loud matters. It reframes compromise not as weakness, but as strategy. The goal isn't to win a standoff. The goal is to ensure the league keeps moving forward.
I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, like, we certainly deserve that, and we're not going to compromise on that, and then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, like, this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and I don't want that to be forgotten. Similar, like, it's important that we find a way to, play this next season, and I think our fans, and even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us.
What you just heard wasn't an ordinary press conference moment, and it definitely wasn't another forgettable soundbite thrown into the daily sports news cycle. Those 30 seconds may end up being the most important half-minute the WNBA hears all year. That's not exaggeration, and it's not hype. It's reality. While the rest of the basketball world has been distracted by noise, the endless debates, the public posturing, the he said, she said chaos surrounding the CBA negotiations, Caitlin Clark did something rare. She cut straight through the mess and delivered one message with absolute clarity. The league cannot afford to get this wrong. At a time when emotions are high and positions are hardening, Clark didn't speak like someone trying to win an argument. She spoke like someone who understands what's truly at stake. This isn't about headlines. It isn't about leverage or optics. It's about the future of women's professional basketball itself. Moments like this don't come often, and when they do, they demand maturity, perspective, and restraint. That's exactly what her words reflected. What makes this moment so powerful is the timing. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. The league has never had this much attention, this much momentum, or this much opportunity. And yet, it's also never been closer to a potential disaster. One wrong move, one miscalculation, one prolonged standoff, and years of progress could unravel. Caitlin Clark didn't frame her comments as a threat or a warning. She framed them as a responsibility shared by players, owners, and leadership alike. This isn't the time for ego battles or political maneuvering. It's not the moment to dig in just to prove a point. It's a moment where long-term vision has to outweigh short-term wins. Clark's message wasn't complicated, but it was profound. If you break the momentum now, you might not get it back. Women's basketball is finally capturing the imagination of a wider audience, and that audience is fragile. Fans don't stick around forever if the product disappears. What separates Clark's statement from typical athlete commentary is awareness. She understands that growth isn't guaranteed. Leagues don't rise on talent alone. They rise on stability, consistency, and trust. Right now, the WNBA has all three within reach, but only if cooler heads prevail. This is bigger than one season, one contract, or one negotiation cycle. This is about protecting something that's finally working. In just half a minute, Caitlin Clark reminded everyone of a simple truth. You don't gamble with momentum when you've waited decades to build it.
Give it up for Caitlin Clark's answer. Thank you, Caitlin. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. I feel like I have been screaming this at the top of my lungs through all of the messiness that has happened over the past 2 seasons in the WNBA. You have a moment right now in women's basketball, and specifically in the WNBA. You have a boom that we have never seen in the history of this league. Do whatever you can to not mess it up, and they've already done multiple things. That is like shooting.
Watching Caitlin Clark back on the court explains exactly why fans have been so restless this offseason. She hasn't played a competitive game since September 25th, 2024, when Indiana was eliminated by Connecticut in the playoffs. That's more than 2 months without seeing one of the most magnetic players in the sport. For fans who fell in love with the WNBA during her rookie season, the absence has been real. Now at Team USA training camp, the footage tells its own story. Her movement is fluid. Her footwork is sharp. There's no wasted motion. The shot release is smooth and confident. The same effortless stroke that made her a phenomenon. There's no hesitation, no visible mechanical issues, no sign of lingering doubt. Questions circulated all off-season. Did she add too much muscle? Did bulking up contribute to her plantar fasciitis and late-season injuries? Watching her now, those concerns fade quickly. She looks balanced, comfortable, and fully in control of her body. More importantly, she looks happy. That joy matters. Fans don't just connect to stats. They connect to energy, emotion, and authenticity. Caitlin Clark plays with visible passion, and that passion is contagious. It's what pulled new audiences into the sport in the first place. Her return isn't just about basketball readiness. It's a reminder of what the league stands to lose if negotiations fall apart. Players like Clark don't just elevate the game. They are the game for millions of fans. Momentum lives through moments like this, through movement, through excitement. The WNBA has something special right now. Caitlin Clark on the court is proof of it. The challenge is making sure fans get to see this version of the league when the next season arrives, not just in highlight clips from a training camp that could end up meaning nothing.
Is playing against them. Kelsey Plum off the screen, kicks to Caitlin Clark for 3. Caitlin Clark up the court. Another 3. Caitlin Clark off the screen, another 3. Her shot looks really good. There were other photos of her going around, I feel like the past couple weeks also, saying that it looks like she dropped some of the muscle that she did gain before last season. It's hard to tell. To be honest, you guys, I'm not really like body watching.
Listen closely to the way Caitlin Clark frames this situation, because her word choice reveals everything. She doesn't describe this as one of the biggest moments in league history. She calls it the biggest moment. That distinction matters. It signals full awareness of the stakes and a deep understanding of where the WNBA stands right now. This isn't casual language. It's deliberate and it's powerful. Even more telling is what she emphasizes next. She doesn't talk about winning negotiations or securing every possible demand. Instead, she centers the conversation on something far more fundamental, finding a way to play next season. That pivot is critical. Clark understands a truth that seems to be getting lost amid the noise. You cannot grow a league if the league isn't playing games. The contrast between where the WNBA was just a year ago and where it stands today is staggering. In early 2024, there were real doubts. No one knew for sure if Caitlin Clark's college dominance would translate to the professional level. Angel Reese was still an unproven rookie. Attendance numbers were respectable but modest, hovering around 6,500 fans per game. The league was stable, but it wasn't exploding. Fast forward to now, and the transformation is undeniable. The Indiana Fever alone averaged over 17,000 fans per game. One team more than doubled the league's previous average. That's not gradual growth, that's a seismic shift. That's proof of untapped demand finally being unlocked. And the numbers back it up everywhere else. Television ratings jumped by 70%, an enormous leap in today's fractured media landscape. The WNBA secured new media deals worth $2.2 billion over 11 years, a figure that changes the league's entire financial outlook. Expansion franchises are commanding $50 million fees, signaling serious confidence from investors. This is the momentum every professional league dreams of. And momentum like this is fragile. It requires continuity, visibility, and trust. Caitlin Clark's comments cut deeper than standard athlete talking points because she's addressing the business reality head-on. A lockout now wouldn't just pause progress, it could permanently damage the league's credibility with fans who just arrived. Her message is simple but urgent. Protect what you've built. Growth isn't guaranteed to repeat itself. Opportunities don't always come back. The WNBA is finally riding a wave, and waves don't wait.